guys, it's Margie, and today I'm doing a movie review of the 1998 film Stepmom. Before I jump into this review, I would like to say that the reason I sound like a total dude is because I have a cold. So, excuse any coughing or gagging or passing out that occurs within this review, and hopefully it's going to be a little shorter today because of that. This film from 1998, Stepmom, starred Susan Sarandon, Julia Roberts, Ed Harris, Jenna Malone, Liam Aiken, Lynn Whitfield, Daryl Larson, Mary Louise Wilson, Andre B. Blake, and Herbert Russell. It was directed by Chris Columbus, who also directed 9 Months and Home Alone, and he also produced this film. Music was by John Williams. Sorry, I just had to smile for a minute. Cinematography by Donald McAlpine, who also did cinematography for Patriot Games, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Anger Management. Editing by Neil Travis, who did editing for Dances with Wolves and Cocktail. Writing was by Gigi Lavangi, Jesse Nielsen, who also worked on I Am Sam, Stephen Rogers, who also worked on Kate and Leopold and Hope Floats, Karen Lee Hopkins, and Ronald Bass, who also worked on Rain Man and My Best Friend's Wedding. It was produced by Mark Radcliffe, who also produced The Help, Wendy Finnerman, who also produced Forrest Gump and P.S. I Love You, and Michael Barnatham, who also produced The Help. And it was also produced by Susan Sarandon and Julia Roberts, who, as I just previously mentioned, also starred in this movie. So basically, the super short plot for this one, guys, is that Susan Sarandon is a mother of 2 children, and she has these 2 children with her ex-husband, Ed Harris, and Ed Harris has a new woman in his life who he wants to marry, and Susan Sarandon is having to accept the fact that Julia Roberts is now going to be in their lives and be their stepmother and all of that. And it's the story, basically, of their relationship and what happens and that kind of thing. I know, not really a specific plot. My voice is so deep right now, it's freaking me out. Okay, I apologize. So, let's jump into performances on this one. Susan Sarandon, I thought, had a really, really great performance. I couldn't think of anything else she really could have done better except make her character just a little more lovable, because you are supposed to love her character, and I kind of thought she was a little more of a jerk than I really liked her. I just realized I look like a total ghost. I apologize. This lighting is so strange. Julia Roberts crushed it. She really did. I don't think there was anything else she could have done better. And she had a crying scene, and I was like, holy cow, she nailed it. It was so epic. Like, I almost cried just watching her cry. It was so beautiful. I was like, oh, Julia, she crushed it. She did. And even if you're not a Julia Roberts fan, or you don't like her regular acting or whatever, I would advise you, this is like officially me telling you to go try and find that cry scene on YouTube and watch it, because it is a beautiful thing. It is. It was gorgeous. Ed Harris, excuse me, I'm sorry. Ed Harris, I thought, did very well for himself. I thought he wrapped everything together. He does not have a lot of screen time, but he did great with every part that he had, and I thought that I admired him because I felt like he really stepped back and let Susan and Julia have this movie. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's about them and their relationship. So I appreciate him not trying to be the center of attention and steal the show and da-da-da, because it was supposed to be about them, and it definitely was. So great to him for that. Everybody else that I mentioned did great. There were some really nice performances. Nothing that really blew me away as far as the supporting cast, but again, all very solid. Let's jump into the directing for this movie. I thought the directing for this movie was pretty good, but I gotta say, as the director, that I would have cut quite a few scenes, and I don't know if that's editing or what that is, but anyway, some of the scenes I would have left out just because it doesn't really drag, but it feels like the entire time that it is. And with a truly great film, you're like, wow, I can't believe that was 2 hours. Like, that just flew by so quickly. So I kind of didn't really care for that, but I thought, nothing really blew me away, but I thought he did well, so it was solid. And I'm just now realizing I say solid all the time in all my reviews. But guys, solid is the perfect word for me to use because solid is like you didn't bomb but you didn't blow me away. You know, but you were sturdy, you know? So anyway, I just want to make a little note of that. Okay, if this is the first time you watched a review of me, though, then please go watch a different review, because this is, like, probably one of the worst reviews I'll do. Just saying. But the show goes on as it does in show business, so I'm still doing a review, even though I'm ill. Anyway, cinematography. There were some really beautiful shots, and I loved the colors in this film. I thought that there was like a lot of yellows and reds and oranges, and just that it's throughout the whole film. The lighting is great. I really like the cinematography for this. The writing for this, a lot of was good, but a lot of it felt really sappy, and I read a lot of critics' reviews about this film, and they agreed. The writing is, again, a lot of it's good, and it's not really funny. Like, I didn't really laugh, but I was entertained. But yeah, there's like two scenes in particular where they're musical numbers, and it's like, let's all sit around and sing Kumbaya and dance and da-da-da, and that ruined the movie pretty much. Like, if you had just cut, because that made it so sappy, like, if you just cut those two scenes, you would have increased the quality of the film by at least 25%. I'm not joking. Like, that... Like, you're going along, you're watching the movie, you're like, okay, I can buy this is good, and then that happens, and you're like, no, the whole thing just is now trash. Like, I don't know, it was not trash. Like, I've heard so many people say, oh, I love this movie, this is my favorite movie, and film was greatly recommended to me by several of my friends. So anyway, yeah, I know I'm being a critic though, guys. I'm not being a friend right now. I'm being a critic, and I gotta tell you, the writing is not that great. But as far as like, again, not what happens in the plot and da da da, but as far as like dialogue, didn't blow me away. A few lines are good, but most of them, or a lot of them were sappy. But there was a couple like really nice speeches, like the scene where Julia just bawls. The writing was really nice for that, but her performance made it even nicer. Like, if you'd had somebody that hadn't bawled like she did with that dialogue, you would just been like, eh. So anyway, the performances in this movie greatly strengthen the writing. Let's jump into language for this one, guys. 1 F, 4 S's, 1 B, 3 D's, 5 A's, and 2 H's. So not awful, which I was expecting it not to be, pretty minor. Anyway, you don't care what I was expecting. You care about what happened. Thank you very much, Margie. I'm sick, so I have no brain, just so you know. Okay. Anyway, sexual content, there's some sexual references, nothing that just blew me away, and there's some passionate kissing, and there is, like, scenes between a man and a woman, like, in bed, but it's not really of a sexual nature. So anyway, moving on to drug and alcohol, there's like a little reference to drugs because of one of the characters has to go through chemo and stuff. So there's a little drug talk, about chemo and stuff like that, but not really. There's some smoking. There's a good bit of smoking, and there's drinking of like wine, but again, nothing excessive. Moving on to violence and gore, there's like a small wound shown, and it didn't make me heave, it's hard to make me heave, so I don't know if that tells you anything or not, but anyway, no, it wasn't bad, but it's like, here's the wound, so you might want to avoid that, but it's nothing to deter you from watching the movie, and I didn't think there was really anything else. So, it's really pretty clean film, actually. I have in my special notes here, the critics absolutely hated this one except for the performances. I mean, they trashed it. They were like, this is the sappiest movie ever. We hate it. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking for fellow members of critics, and I'm talking about people that actually do this for a living, unlike myself, okay? So, yeah, they hated it. They did. I'm just going to be honest. And for the humans out there that are just like, oh, it's a favorite movie and da-da-da. Well, yes, that's great. That's wonderful. But I understand where they're coming from because a lot of it was weak. And if you love the movie, great. If you get a lot out of the movie, great. That doesn't mean that it's filmmaking at its finest, even if you love a movie. You know, like I have movies that I love and I'm like, this is not a good movie as far as like how it's made and da-da-da, but I still enjoy it. So hopefully it's one of those for you. And I have here the dancing, singing scenes made the film feel cheesy and generic. It's awful. Cut. Edit. Must go. Like, just ruined it. If you hadn't had those, it would have been so much more believable, so much less of a sap fest, and just been so much better. So much better without those. I mean, it just would have been strengthened because that made it seem, again, generic and typical and da-da-da as far as like an actual work of art that is something original. So that ruined it for me. But I have here the Julia cry scenes. There was multiple, but there was one in particular where she and Susan Sarandon's character talking crushed it. Oh my gosh, she killed it. Like, I was about to cry just watching her cry. I was like, that is so legitimate. And I'm not really a crier at movies. I mean, I cry, but it's hard. And because I'm such a critic, I'm thinking like, why is the camera placed here rather than, oh, that's such a lovely thing she just said. So it's harder for it to get me to cry. And what she said didn't really make me cry very much. It was just more like she's having it out. And this is a beautiful thing to watch. Oh my gosh, it was gorgeous. Julia Roberts, you're a beast. You're amazing. Anyway, at least she was in this film. I thought, whether you're a Julia Roberts fan or not, you need to see this cry scene if you're a critic and just critique it and be like, that was awesome. Because I can't praise her enough for that. Even if you hate everything else she's done, she crushed this. That's my review. Oh gosh, a rating for this one, I'm going to say 3 out of 5 stars because of the good performances, it was just okay. It didn't blow me away. Would I watch this one again? Probably not, but I would pop it in just so I could skip to the part where Julia balls, because that was the thing of beauty. I mean, there is nothing in the universe like somebody having a good, legitimate, believable, let the tears flow, have it out, hash it out. I mean, it's just so gorgeous. And tell me if you guys agree in the comments. And you're like, why do you think that's so beautiful? Like, people are crying and stuff, because it's amazing that you can bring yourself to that point, and it's just so gorgeous when it goes right. Thank you for sitting through this review with me, even though I'm sick. I hope I'll be feeling better soon. I hope you are having a great day, and I hope to talk to you guys later.